So as a foreigner living in Japan, you
Yeah.
and me also paying into the Japanese pension system, right?
We should be. Are you?
Yeah, I am. I'm paying for it.
Good. Me too.
The thing about it, with the current yen is so cheap and the
Yeah.
inflation, do you think the government will be able to support us in the future, like 30 years or something later, right? Or 20 is something for you?
Another 30 is fine. It's a good question, and it's one that I don't particularly like thinking about, but it's something I should think about.
Yeah.
And the answer is, probably not. In terms of the current state pension, I think it's probably better to assume that it will not be enough to live off after we retire if we're still in Japan.
Do you know how much you are paying and how much you are going to get?
I do. I know I'm roughly paying. I'm on the state pension system. I'm not like Shakai Hokken. I'm on the sort of freelancer Gyomitaku state pension, and that's about 16,000 yen a month, a little bit more. Yeah. And how much do I get? I mean, I didn't know, but in terms, I had to look it up. But currently, as of 2023, I think, according to the Japan Pension Services, a full state pension is 795,000 yen a year, which works out at just over $5,000 and in my case, just over 4,000 pounds sterling. That's a full state pension, which is, in my understanding, is if you've paid into it for 40 years.
Yeah. But there's like $400 or 400 pounds per month.
Basically, it's about 66,000 yen a month. My apartment rent, where I currently live, is 110,000 yen a month. That's divided between two of us, though, so I could just about make rent. But the thing to remember is that I won't have been able to have paid into it for 40 years. I've paid into it for 10 years, over 10 years, which means that I qualify for it.
Yeah.
If you haven't paid into it for 10 years, you can't get it.
But after 10 years, doesn't matter, right? 10 years, first 20 years, the amount you get is the same, right?
No.
You get like half or whatever percentage that is, right?
You get, I mean, if you go onto the Japan Pension Services website, there is an English page on this. I only looked at it for this video, so there is a calculation so that you can figure out if you've paid into your pension for say 20 years, how much can you collect.
So the conclusion is we will never be able to survive on the pension system, right?
On the state pension alone, I think it would be wrong, very, very wrong, to think that it is going to be enough to live on when you retire. And that's nothing unusual, is it? It's the same back where I'm from.
How much do we need, the minimum amount that survive from 60 to 80 or 90?
According to an article from 2019, this is, I believe, is a Kyodo News article, and it's about an estimate made by the Financial Services Agency, which at that time said, and I'm just reading here, the agency presented its own estimate that retired couples would need 15 million yen, that's, at that time, it was about $140,000, to 30 million yen if they live to be 95 years old.
Wow.
And that's to cover the lack, if you understand what I mean, you'll get a state pension, but that's nowhere near enough. So on top of your state pension, this is the Financial Services Agency saying you needed between 15 million yen to 30 million yen total if you're going to live until 95 years
That's
old.
quite a lot of saving. You need to have like saving or investment with that amount to survive, right?
I guess, if I think about, without wanting to go too much into my own personal finances, but that's a significant savings. I don't think it's an impossible amount to save. And I'm no expert, but 15 million yen to 30 million yen is probably not going to keep you in a life of luxury, but it'll keep you alive until you're 95 years old, apparently. I think one of the important things about discussing pensions and investments and your financial security in Japan is, certainly for me, I have been guilty. I've been in Japan for well over 10 years now, And most of that time, I've lived year by year.
Me too.
Yeah, right? Or visa by visa.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think about like, oh, what do I need like when I'm 65? I didn't even know where I would be
Yeah.
when I'm 65. The likelihood it's looking more and more likely that I'll be in Japan, but I'm still not sure about that. And that's been a real block or a real hurdle for me to think about my financial future in Japan, whether it be through pensions or investments or whatever, mortgages, that kind of thing. So I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only foreigner who feels like that, but how about you? Do you plan for your financial future in Japan?
Not until recently.
Right.
Because in the last, I've been here like almost 10 years, similar to your situation. Like we are on a visa, like every like 1 year, 3 year, or 5 year, depend on each person's situation.
Yeah.
So I haven't really think about it, but until recently, like I need to do something because also like I used to live in the States.
Yeah.
It's so expensive right now. It's impossible for me to go back. Like with the housing price, Japan seem more stable for me.
Yeah.
So I should in the recently last 1 or 2 years I think about like, oh, maybe I should. I mean, I pay for the pension system anyway. They force me to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I might as well to use it to my full extent, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. Here's the question though. Maybe if you're not going back to the States, if you decided that, it doesn't really apply. But I still think about maybe I might go back into England.
Yeah.
My understanding is that I can claim my Japanese pension from England.
But
can you do that in America?
There is, but you can only claim a certain years. I think you pay for like 10 years. It's only count for 10 years.
Okay.
But I don't know how much they will pay you back.
Okay.
Like, is it worth it?
I mean, my understanding is that it's a reciprocal thing between the UK and Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So if I continue paying whatever I would have qualified for in Japan, if I move back to England, I will qualify for back in England, I think.
But with the current inflation, even if I can claim like the whole 10 or 15 years I stay here, even I get like the pension system in the US, I cannot survive on that.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
With the inflation, the housing price.
Yeah.
So it's almost very difficult. I have to do something else, right?
Yeah. Have you ever looked at the Japan Pension Services website?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you knew there was some English language information.
Yep. A little bit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do much because like they only tell you like, oh, if you are 65, you get 100%. If you are like, you can get it like 70, you get like 42% extra.
Okay.
There's some similar like simple information. I read it before.
So it's enough or not enough for you?
Enough
information.
Information. I think it's enough, but I don't think I trust them.
Okay, right.
Because like, are they going to really pay me like, or they are going to change it when I'm 65? When I'm 65, they extend to like 70, minimum 70, and you have to work until like 75.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Then I was like, oh, the chance of me like living until like healthily 75 is the chance of getting slimmer and slimmer.
Well, maybe that's okay because you won't have enough money to live until you're 95 anyway.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, another thing that I reluctantly think about is Japan's aging population. So like right now, I'm paying 16,000 yen a month, and that, I think people wrongly assume that 16,000 yen a month is what going to your future. It's not.
No.
It's paying for the old people now, of which there is a lot of them.
Yeah.
And there's only going to be even more in the future. So I think compared to other countries, I think this is something that you should probably think about, or I should think about in terms of financial security in Japan in the future, is that, what kind of, who's going to be left in this country to pay for my care when I get older. So in that case, I guess it becomes even more important to start thinking about options outside of a state pension. What do you think?
Well, from what I heard, the state pension invests the money you pay for them, right? Isn't it? They don't pay it, just pay it out for the people right now.
Well, I'm assuming that there's some sort of investment going on, but given that Japan has a desperately aging population, I'm assuming that a lot of it is going into their care, as it should be. So that makes me wonder, well, how much will people have to pay to look after me?
That's the end of the video. So if you have invested in anything else, so comment below and let us know so we learn more about from you guys too. We are not an expert in finance advisor. We just normal guys living in Japan.
Sharing our experiences.
Yeah. Share this video too. And make sure to click the like button and subscribe.
Subscribe.
See you next time.
Bye.